Hey, you guys! I'm in my bed, so this is gonna be a bit of a shaky video because I have my laptop placed on my knees. But it's okay. I was gonna record this tomorrow, but I was like, damn, my hair looks really good. It looks too good to not document on my crappy laptop camera. So I was like, you know what? Let me do this. Let me record this today. IKEA alien on the corner. Anyway, um, in the corner, whatever. I am going to talk about my uh, current reads and my like reads. So let's start. I want to start with Dune. Now, before getting into this book, I've seen people say that, like, they either said that it was too difficult to read and they just gave up on it, or that it's a masterpiece. And now, um, disclaimer, I did watch the movies. I did watch the movies, the new ones, before getting into this book. But I still think that my point remains that it is not a difficult read at all. I think that the used language in it is very simple and it's very direct. However, I mean, I'm gonna talk a bit about the movie and the book. And there are things in the book that are not in either of the two movies. So there's gonna be some spoilers in what I'm gonna say. I don't know how they're gonna put them in the third movie actually, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But basically, it's just weird. It's just confusing. And if you are a Dune fanatic reading this, please explain to me because I did not look up any analysis or any videos of anyone talking about it because I wanted to keep my initial opinion for this video and then maybe go and see what other people are thinking of it. But I wanted to get into this with my personal opinion, my initial opinion. Um, there are these really weird jumps, and they just introduce us to characters left and right, and sometimes not really elaborate on. Like, I'm pretty sure there's at least one character that they would just introduce once and then he never shows up again. And you don't know anything about him except his name. And also, this is completely book one is completely focused on world building. I don't think that like um, the way that it's written, I don't think that it allows me to sympathize with any character or feel for any character because it just gives a surface level about them. I feel like maybe Lady Jessica is the one that the book focuses on the most, and she's the one that I found myself sympathizing with the most. But like Paul, I really did not care. I did not care for his pain and suffering because we don't really get anything about him as a person. It's just about, who he is, his family, and that's it. And another thing, and this is gonna be a spoiler. So Paul and Cheney, get together. All right. And then oh yeah, Lady Jessica is pregnant. And Paul and Cheney get together. Then at some point, it jumps to Lady Jessica's daughter, 6-year-old daughter, coming into the room. And I am just like, when was she even born? And I felt insane because I was like, did I skip something? Did I miss something? Did I zone out while I'm reading? And then I had to go back and check. Like I had to go back a few pages and double check. But no, that's just how the book flows. However, her daughter is very funny. I will say that. I like her daughter. But then it happens again when she gets kidnapped. And then all of a sudden, Paul is like, I can feel that my son has died. And he did die. And again, when was he born? Do they even give his age? I think he was 2 years old. I don't remember. Maybe I'm making this up. I don't think do we even get a name? I think he's named after Paul's father. Not a single word from him. Nothing about him. Nothing about him. It's just that he died. That's it. That doesn't make any sense. I felt crazy. And overall, like, I expected so much more from this, honestly. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5. I do think, like, I am planning to continue reading the Dune books. I think Dune Messiah is gonna be way better than the first one. The first one is very, very focused on world building, just like the first movie. I don't know how they're gonna bring the whole thing about Paul's son and Jessica's daughter. I hope they take a different route. Because this was just a... Anyway. So that's what I have to say about Dune. It's not a difficult read. It's just a confusing one sometimes. And also, you know... big boy appendix. Like, yeah, there are a lot of terms in it and stuff, but I feel like for the most part it is very like the way that it's written, it's very easy to read. Moving on. Perfume, Story of a Murderer by Frederick Susskind. Patrick, not Frederick. Patrick Susskind. I hope I'm saying that right. This is one of my favorite books of all time. It is absolutely incredible. The writing style, descriptive as... Do not read this while you're eating. This book smells. It reeks. You are going to smell every single scent that is described in this book. I have never read a book that is this descriptive. Absolutely amazing stuff. And I'm not... There's something that I really want to talk about, but it is a spoiler. And I don't want to spoil this book on you if you haven't read it. Just go into... Oh, I did not... Do I need to explain to you the plot of Dune? I don't even know how to explain it. I think we all know Dune by now, but yeah, Dune is a sci-fi... well, it is... Actually, that's also something that I forgot to say. It is described as a sci-fi. I I think it's a fantasy. I think it's a fantasy book with some sci-fi elements here and there. Because it has the potions and the whole thing about um the chosen one and yeah, I would honestly call it a fantasy more than a sci-fi. It just happens on another planet, not Earth. This takes place in a planet called Arrakis about this boy called Paul Atreides, who is believed to be the chosen one. He's the one who's gonna, like, he's the Messiah, basically. He's the Mahdi. And yeah, it has elements of Islam in it. I will say that I think it's very interesting how this tackles. Uh, I just jumped back into Dune. I forgot to mention this. I think it's very interesting how it tackles Islam. Also, yeah, I think it threw some things just for the sake of throwing things. Because at some point, what's his name? Stilgar? In the book, he was like, they denied us the Hajj, which is the go into Makkah. If that's what I believe, that's what, like, the Hajj is, when you go to Mecca and it's a thing that happens at a specific time every year, where you go and worship, and like there are certain things that you need to do, and you need to take laps around the Kaaba and all that. And he's like, they denied us the Hajj, and then they never elaborated on it. What do you mean they denied you the Hajj? Who denied you the Hajj? I don't. I feel like sometimes it just threw these things here and there, and it never elaborated on them, and then it just moved on. But yeah, I think it's very interesting how it tackles Islamic themes and Islamic beliefs, because Al Mahdi comes from Islam as well, and he is believed that he will uh, come out at the end of times, and that he is going to like guide humanity to the right path, and that's who Paul Atreides is believed to be, and I just think, the guy who wrote this, Frank Herbert, he's is he American? I believe he's American. Um, I feel like if an Arab person or if a Muslim writer wrote anything close to this, he would get killed. And I feel like, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with how it tackles these things, because I feel like it is accurate, it's not given misinformation. These are things that are actually in Islam. But I don't like the fact that, and this is not Frank Herbert's fault, or anyone. It's just, let me not get ahead of myself. I feel like because it is an American who wrote about these things, and, sold the book to a Western audience, and they're like, wow, this is amazing. It just sucks that if an Arab person tries and writes a book like this, he would just get ridiculed. His book would get banned. He will not get anywhere. And his right, I feel like even if I feel like their writing would not be respected as much as Duna's. But that's because of, a whole bunch of reasons, racism, um, let's not get there. But unfortunately, this is how the world is. Anyway, Perfume. This is a book about, uh, this is a classic about this uh, boy who has a crazy, crazy, crazy sense of smell. Like he can smell every single thing ever. He can smell someone no matter where they are. He can chase that person and find them wherever they are, like dependent on their smell. And basically, he starts to make these crazy concept perfumes, and like would make them out of the craziest ingredients ever. And like he's a psychopath. Like he kills people to get their scent, and it is just so good. And I will not spoil it on you, but the plot twist is crazy. I feel like it has a plot twist that is one that you would either hate it or you would absolutely love it. I absolutely loved it. I think it's incredible. And um I'm still thinking about doing. I need to because I want to go back and add to what I said, but I want to move on. Um uh, the plot twist is amazing. The ending is amazing. The whole book is incredible, and it's only like 300 pages, I believe. So if you are going through like a, oh no, it's 263. If you are going through like a book, what is it called? A reading slump. If you're going through a reading slump, or if you are trying to squeeze like a short read in between books, or whatever. If you just need a short read that is interesting, that is very well written, absolutely read Perfume. I gave it 5 stars out of 5. Now moving on to what I'm currently reading. I am reading Beloved by Toni Morrison. I studied this in university. However, it was during the COVID semester, so I don't remember anything. I just know that it tackles slavery. I did cheat from but no, I remember something about slavery, and I remember that it like has ghosts or something. Like I know that this is a very interesting read, and it's very like insightful, and Toni Morrison is an incredible author. Um, so I want to reread this to remember it, because I don't remember anything, unfortunately. But I remember it being interesting. So yeah. I'm still in the very beginning, honestly. I got interrupted and I couldn't continue, but I will. And I'm also reading a self-help book. It's called Feeling Good: The New Mood Therapy by David Burns. David D. Burns. This so I've had a very rough June. Crazy, insane. And okay. I have anxiety. I have a GAD, general anxiety disorder. I was actually professionally diagnosed, and I used to go to a therapist, but eventually I felt like I was going back to problems that all had the same solutions. So I stopped going because I was like, I'm just going in circles. Now I need to do the work and I need to stop going. I need to do the homework. Um, because I feel like I wasn't really putting the work myself. I was just going to my therapist and hoping that he would cheer me up and then go home, which obviously is not how therapy works. And so I started reading this book online actually, because I feel like most self-help books don't really, they're just sentiments that you agree with and you just want to see them on paper. But they're not really anything new, they're not anything life-changing. Um so I zoned out. Anyway, um so I started reading it online because I heard great things about it. I read it like a while ago. I don't remember when. And then I reached to like the 200 something mark, and I was like, okay, this is a really good book, but I want to have a physical copy of it because I feel like it has all the things that I've learned in therapy, because my therapy was focused on CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and this is basically about CBT. This is all about CBT, and it's not a substitute to therapy, but it does have the things that I've learned in therapy, and it feels like, it's like my mental health bible kind of, because I want a resource basically for me to reach these things whenever I need them, because I was starting to forget what I learned in therapy. I did not want to pay a lot of money. I paid a lot of money for my therapist just to be reminded of these things over and over. So I felt like this was a very good resource to have in hand, and I wanted to have a physical copy so that I can, tap pages and I can write notes, and so that I can have it with me. So I'm starting over to mark the things that I need and whatever. And it's honestly a really, really good book if you are looking for something, for your mental health. Again, this is not a substitute for therapy, and he says that himself in the introduction. However, actually, even if you are, considering therapy, but maybe it's more difficult for you to get an appointment, or you're unsure, this would clear things up for you. This would give you more clarity about what you need to do, if you do actually need therapy or not, and all that. It is kind of expensive, but it is really good. It is really good. If you can find a used copy, go for it. I couldn't find one, unfortunately, so I had to pay good money on it. Here's what happened. I had a really rough June, as I said, and one day I was having a depression nap, and I woke up. Literally, the first thing I did, I just took my phone, added it at the cart, place order. I was not having it. But I'm glad that I did that, because I really need this right now, and I'm more focused on it than Beloved, because I'm really trying to figure things out right now. I'm in a really, really crazy time in my life. But we move. But yeah, great book. And that's it from me for now. Once I finish these books, I will get back to you with my full review and whatever the hell I'm gonna read next. I have the names of all my books, hopefully all my books. I have them all written down in these like tiny pieces of paper, so that I would pull one from a jar to determine my next read, because I have so many books to read. So I will probably pull one with you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and good night.